Hello, welcome to another edition of the Pace Report. I'm Brian Pace, reporting live here at the Metropolitan Room here in New York City. You know, here on the Pace Report, I like to introduce up-and-coming talent that's going to make a mark both here and abroad, and tonight is no different. Tonight I'm going to introduce you to a pianist by the name of Alberto Pizzo, and he hails from Italy. And this week here, he has been performing both classical concerts as well as jazz concerts. And his latest album, On the Way, is produced by Fabrizio Sodi, who I featured here on the Pace Report a couple of years ago. And the two collaborated and came up with a very, very interesting hybrid of both jazz fusion as well as classical. And it has special guests ranging from David Knopfler, who's the co-founder of Dire Straits, and drummer Mark Ditcham, who is a drummer for the Rolling Stones. I sat down earlier with Alberto and we talked about his origins growing up in Italy. We talked about how he wants the American audience to perceive him musically, and also talked about his musical influences and how he's going to move forward with not just the classical world but as well as the jazz world. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the debut of Alberto Pizzo live here at the Metropolitan Room here on the Pace Report here in New York City. Alberto, congratulations and welcome to the United States. This has been a fantastic week for you. Tell me about your different music sets this week, because you're doing classical as well as jazz.
So first I want to say really thanks for coming. And my project is a little bit different to other one because I mix everything inside. So there is classic stuff like jazz, rock, fusion, world music. So my objective is to use the music to everywhere. So I don't want just one way, but to be open. You understand?
This CD is really, like you said, an amalgamation of all the musics that you like, but you also hooked up with Fabrizio Sodi, and Tell me about how you guys paired up to get together to do this record.
So I met him in the Cabaret Jazz Festival in the Santo Domingo, Republic Dominican. So after I played one song, he asked to collaboration for the new album because he find in me something maybe special for it. So this project's coming like magic, you know, because we feel the same way for the music. So for us, it's very important to make something with the emotion, something with the passion. So I born from Naples, to the south Italy. So for me, the music is really important, passion, instinct, and energy. So I put inside this thing everything I know. Maybe something like jazz, like classic, everything inside.
In addition to Fabrizio putting this record together as producer, he also aligned you with some great musicians, special guests on this record. Tell me who are part of your special rhythm section on this record.
So Fabrizio is an amazing producer, but also I think for me I am so lucky because he play also in this album with Mino. So I have a session like orchestra for because I have everything I want inside. It's like ambient, like jazz sound, like classic sound. And this I can get this only thanks to Fabrizio and Mino in the my music, because both is a really open mind with the music. So for me it's easy to play with them.
Alberto, you grew up in Italy. Tell me about your musical psyche. When did the piano come into your life?
So I am really young. I start really when I have 4 years old. 4 years old. So for me, I remember the piano first and then Italian language. So starting my life because I love to play the Morricone soundtrack. I play, and without to know the music, I just with the instinct I play that. So my family when I start to learn piano. So I remember the piano in all my life. I never know my life without music. So for me, it's one thing is inside of me, maybe for other life. I don't know.
One of the things I noticed on this CD and also your first album, classical also has been a very, very important part of your training, but it wasn't until like you were about 19 or 20 that you decided that you had to start learning jazz for improvisational skills. What brought you to that?
But inside of myself, I won coming to United States in 2011 for learn something like not just only for music, but at least hearing the music, feel the music in New York. Because the jazz, I think this is something that is not only about music. It's about free way. Like you have to be freedom, and also with something like you have to respect, but with the freedom. You understand? So I learn jazz for put and for contamination, like my music, not just for be a jazz player. I feel like the jazz is something open the window for everywhere, for every way.
I met Alberto last year when I was playing at the jazz festival in Cabarete in Dominican Republic, and through a common friend, introduced me to Alberto, saying he's a very talented young pianist. He's not really just into jazz; he's more classical guy. But I want you to meet him. Maybe you guys can do something. So after I met him, it's just we had a great connection, from the very beginning. And I always wanted to experiment, to play and produce a musician that wasn't per se just classical musician or jazz musician. So we came up with some really interesting material, what I mean, that varies from world music to classical to jazz, but his foundation is definitely in the classical world, The American public is going to appreciate this journey through something completely different that they ever heard before, because honestly you can hear some amazing classical music in New York, actually some of the best classical music in the world, as well as all the other general music, but this particular mix, I really believe that it's something unique.
Here in America, popular music is rap and R&B and soul, but in Italy, how popular is jazz music and American roots music over there, and what's the age like? Are people 10 and 13 as well as 50 and 60 really digging the music over there?
So you mean now what people like in Italy? I think the same, because America and United States influence all world for the music. So I think 3 years ago I met Harry Williams from the Sugar Hill Gang, and he told me something similar. Some project to make together classic music and rap music. So in Italy it's the same. Everyone now like the nice music, the well music, the great music. So there is no what music is, or maybe label music is. It's important. Good music make feel good people. So in Italy also the rap is hot now, the jazz, especially example in Naples, in the south Italy is a lot of jazz club, and really I think this is very popular, the jazz music in Italy. So I think it's United States influence all words for this, and for me also. For me it's, every day for me Chopin and a.k.a. At the same time. I think it's important both for my lifestyle. So I don't know. I don't think it's what's better. I think the a.k.a. Chopin, Liszt, Mozart or Bled Meldau is the same. Are the same.
was the first time that you were aware of this gentleman playing the piano this evening?
Less than a year ago, my dear friend Fabrizio introduced me to him and asked me to join them in a special project, that album selling tonight. So I was less than a year ago, and he explained to me, so I discovered a young kid, talented, very different, like a kind of Ennio Morricone's protege, so in between. He has a lot of music for film scoring and stuff like that. He had that classical background, and he's free in his own thing, so I tried to take him somewhere else.
Meaning you've been at this for a minute. You played with a lot of great people. What do you see that's very different in this piano style?
Well, like I said, it's not really one style per se to me. It's not really classical, although he's capable of playing classical music, It's I would say more from the film scoring, kind of school, so to speak, It's like, like a composer like Ennio Morricone, for example, or like that. They have that in between, it's interesting. So it's unique. I think what's interesting is a young pianist to be so much into such a thing, and there's a lot of performances solo and sometimes with orchestra. So
This is really your big debut in America. What is it that you want American music fans to come away when they listen to you and when they see you live?
The first thing I would like to give with the music is something deeply about my culture, about my passion, about my also my lifestyle. Everything starts easy. So inside my music, especially because I am also a composer, I feel you can get something I cannot explain with the words. So for me, it's very important to give something like without with all my heart. I give something for feeling, for passion, for love, for romantic, for nostalgia. So for me, music is like the background and the soundtrack to the life.
That'll do it again for another edition of the Pace Report, reporting live here at the Metropolitan Room here in New York City. I'd like to personally thank the talented Alberto Pizzo for his time, as well as guitarist Fabrizio Sodi for his wonderful comments on pianist Alberto Pizzo. Also, I'd like to personally thank the staff and management here at the Metropolitan Room for their warm hospitality. As always, please visit my website, www.thepacereport.com, for my weekly column as well as my past segments. Till next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Till next time, peace.